Did it just tell you we're recording?
Yes.
Hey, everybody, happy 2023. And for the call, please state your name and tell us which department you're from.
Hi, my name is Neil, and I'm from Computer Science Department, pursuing Masters, second year, starting this sem.
Hey, Neil.
I'm Marissa from the Biomedical Engineering Department, and I'm fifth year, well, finishing up my fourth year, so going into my fifth year is my master's for co-term.
Hey, Marissa.
So myself, Mohammed, I'm from a data science master's. So I have completed my 3 semesters and this is my final semester here. Yeah.
Hey, Mohammed.
Right.
Two more.
My name is Yash and I'm from ITM. I'm a graduate student in my second semester.
Hey, Yash.
Yeah, so I'm Ashlesh. This is my second semester. I'm from Data Science Department.
Hey, Ashlesh. Anybody else? Okay, so welcome to the Business Relations Strategist workshop, the first one for the new year. So just for all of you guys are all at different points in your outreach. Just a little bit of background. The reason this group was formed is to create an opportunity to have a reason to reach out to companies that they want to see at the February 2023 career fair. And it's actually practice ground for what we teach you about business relations, okay? Because people get people hired, and this is quote unquote an excuse or a reason for you to reach out to total strangers. And in your case, these are people that you want to connect with because they could help you get a job eventually. So just out of that, out of curiosity, actually, why don't we do this? I'm still sharing the screen, right? You guys can see the screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
So let's start with Nandish. I was asking, I'm just going to read it just in case you can't see the screen. So I asked Nandish, who's part of this team. He's a computer science major, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And then I asked him, how's your outreach going? And he said, the outreach is going great. I had questions regarding one successful outreach. So Nandish, he was kind of like in conversations about doing cold outreach originally. So he was kind of like ahead of the curve, so to speak. And that's even better because he's ahead of the curve as far as results as well. He said, I reached out to many people from a small company, and then I applied to that company and I'm kind of through one step. And then he said that the co-founder of that company replied to him and talked to him because Nandish actually used the tactics that we learn out here. So like I said, the whole intent of this call was everybody is in a different spectrum in the task at hand. So I want people to get out of this meeting what they need to get out of it based on where they're at in the process. So I'm going to give the floor to Marissa, to Yash, to Ashlesh, because I know Neil and Mohammed, they've kind of like been at it with me for a little bit and having some of those conversations. You could jump in eventually, but I'm going to give priority, I guess, to our newer folks. I want to hear where you're at so that we can understand how we can help you move forward and kind of get to where Nandish is at. So everybody's on the same page. So who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Awesome. So I think, are you logged in twice, Yash? Because we were hearing feedback.
Oh, yeah. So I guess.
Oh, you're better now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead. So where are you at in the process? Did you have questions? Obviously, you saw something in the original post that you read. How can we help you move forward? Or any questions?
Yes. So actually, I'm about to start my second semester in this January. and I'm looking to target for summer 23 internships. And I'm in the initial stage of starting my process of grabbing an internship. I've been trying to reach out people on LinkedIn, but I am not doing that extensively. I just started out, and I'm
Okay.
looking for some tips and tricks to do it.
Very good. Actually, I'm going to involve Neil and Mohammed for this call. Okay, would you guys being a little bit more advanced in the spectrum based on what Yash just shared with us? I mean, I have my ideas, but I want you guys to practice your knowledge by giving tips to Yash right now. So what would you have to say based on what he just said? I heard Josh say that he was looking for an internship and he hasn't done any outreach. I can see where this is going if we weren't here to guide Yash. So I want to hear what Neil and Mohammed have to say.
So, Mohammed, do you want to go first or should I?
No, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If I were you, Yash, probably, select the companies that I would like and make categories of it, and then try following people working there in a different hierarchy. So number of people working there, some in HR, some in technical background, and then, keeping track of what they're posting, try to getting involved in there by, commenting and, then basically sliding in a little and then getting to know them better and using this business relations strategist material that we've been given. You can, convey your ideas, and in that way they can listen to you actually, and then get to know them better, and then eventually ask what you are actually interested in. And probably that is what I would have done. I could be wrong, I don't know.
No, that's good. So Neil, if you weren't telling Yash what to do right now, what is the usual path that students take when they start doing cold outreach that we tell students not to do?
Yes, so the usual thing is like, they just straightforward message them something out of the blue without even, having that initial connection. Like it's just, stranger talking to a stranger. So that's not so welcoming. I guess if I ever in their place, I wouldn't really liked it. But if it's something where I have seen you a couple of times in my feed over, engaging with me, then I would probably know you at least. I mean, obviously virtually, but I can, you can have a better chance of asking for a reply if I know you like that.
Very good, Neil. So one of the things, Yash, that we're trying to share with you is I'm sure there are like 1,000 or thousands of students just like you looking for internships. And the usual way that students approach is they just go directly to the contact that they want. And I mean, this is a bit dramatic, but the approach is really, hey, Yash, my name is Bernie. I'm an electrical engineering student. Please help me find a job. Is usually the way most students reach out, right? So what we're trying to teach you is be different. Don't do what they're doing. And what Neil just said is try to get to know them a little bit better. And we kind of teach you those strategies in the group. That's why we call this a workshop. The whole intent of this weekly call is that you're going to come to this call and say, this is what I said. This is what I said in my connection request. And they're ignoring me, or they haven't responded, or I haven't, this is why we're having these calls weekly, so that we could actually work on the messages that you're sending out, because this is all about team effort and sharing of best practices. Thank you, Neil. I want Yash to react to what he said and open it up for questions. Marissa and Ashlesh, if you had questions, please feel free to jump in, because this is a conversation. I'm pretty sure you're in the same spot as Yash. Feel free to jump in, but let's have Yash react to what Neil said or what we've talked about so far.
I would like to thank Neil for sharing his response with me with a strategy. And to be very honest, I do the same. So I just text people that my name is Yash, I'm from IT. Can you help me in this opportunity? And they totally ignore me. But I guess I'll have to change my track and go for a little longer way instead of just upfronting asking for a referral.
Yeah, I think longer way is a little bad name. Say it as a better way. That's what.
Oh man, that's an awesome catch.
Right?
Awesome catch, Neil,
Yeah.
because I was just about to say something. So what
Yeah.
Neil's talking about right now is mindset. Okay, and you will see that in the LinkedIn group as well. So I love how Neil just caught that and he's like, nope, that's not what it is. It seems longer, but it's truly more effective. And it's interesting that you say that, Yash, because Nandish had something else similar that he said in his email to me. And oh, I know. You guys are still seeing my screen, right?
No.
Oh, sorry, because I cut it off. You guys will have to remind me, okay? Because actually, since I have you as captive audience, I'm just going to read it. How's that? But listen to what Nandish had to say, all right? Because I asked him, he said he wasn't going to be in this meeting, but what he said is totally applicable to what Yash just said. So, you guys ready? Okay, I'm going to read what Nandish said verbatim. He said it all started when he texted me on LinkedIn for a resume and not getting through the first step. So he's kind of like in the same spot as you are, Yash. He kind of like didn't know what was going on and it was just going through his own tactics. Nandish goes, I would never know that I was doing all wrong by texting people directly about what I need. Okay. Which is kind of like a natural inclination because we actually need a job. We need an internship. So it's totally about us. So this is what Nandish is sharing. After going through the LinkedIn guide and tactics, I realized that if I want to hear back from any company members, I should ask them about something which they are proud of. Along with that, it was Christmas and then New Year. So I took the opportunity to message a lot of people, greeted them and asked them about the project that they were working on, how long they have been working at the company. And then once I was in a conversation with them, I asked about how was their interview process. So I'm going to stop right there. What are you guys getting out of Nandish's share? Anybody?
I think that, well, first I wish that I had like heard this, found of this, or this existed like 2 years ago for me. When I was looking for internships like freshman, sophomore year, and was doing the same thing and just cold emailing. And it was so frustrating that like I would like ask people like, okay, so like how do I just feel like I don't have my foot in the door. I know that my resume and like if I do an interview, I feel like my skills and my abilities, like I can represent myself well, but I can't get to that step. And like I don't know if my resume is even getting to a person or if it's getting stopped by the algorithm. And I just kept hearing like, oh, well, like networking is key. It's who you know. And my like biggest complaint and frustration was like, how do you network when you don't have a network to start with? And so like having this, like that was the question I just kept asking. I'm fortunate enough to have an internship for this summer, but I want to grow my network with companies in the biomedical engineering field for future just like opportunities and getting more knowledge and connections, because I feel like that'll be valuable either way, and then for a job when I graduate. And so this is like what I've been like asking and looking for, and I'm just glad that I finally found it, I guess.
Well, we're glad to have you, Marissa. So like to your point of trying to get your foot in the door. Yash, aren't you glad that you're like hearing this and you actually volunteered into a group that could practice what it is that we're talking about? Other comments before I bring in Mohammed, because he has a very good story about approaching this from a different angle, because Mohammed had good results from the get-go. But let's have some more reaction to what Marissa just said and to what Nandish shared.
So as Marissa said that getting the foot in the door, I'm actually in that phase. So whatever I'm doing, so I tried like doing 50 applications in the last week and got auto rejected from all of them. So I realized that my resume didn't even reach the person which it was supposed to reach, but like the algo is blocking me and I have to pass that algo somehow.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
And you're in the right place. So I'm going to queue up some stuff in the LinkedIn group so that you guys know, not just you guys on this call right now, but this recording is obviously going to be shared to the rest of the students in the LinkedIn group so that they kind of get out of this. The difference between those students who are not part of this group and you guys are, is we actually have a reason to reach out to these companies. And within that, you are using this as a practice ground. So you guys were actually smart by volunteering in doing this. So you're accomplishing two things. You're actually learning the material and you get to practice it as you're being mentored at the same time. And we have weekly follow-up calls. And actually, we don't have to wait for a week. If you had something that's going on, just send me a message. We'll probably start a LinkedIn group message so that this is about best practices. I don't have all the information. You know, Neil has had some success. Mohammed has had some success. And you guys will eventually have some. So let's move forward as a team, because I keep on saying it, rising tide lifts all boats. So that's why we collaborate together. So I'm going to queue up the LinkedIn group while I have Mohammed share his great story because Mohammed kind of like did the same thing that you guys were doing. Mohammed knew something that was different from what Marissa and Yash just shared, because he actually had a fabulous result. So please share that, Mohammed.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie, for mentioning me. So yeah, like almost all like tips have been shared by Neil and Marisa. So they have been like sharing like how to apply and like how to approach all those things. Like as you mentioned, like my approach was like pretty different from it. Like I started in 2021 and like there was no one to guide literally like how to connect with people. Like I was doing the random stuff like sending the people connection request and mentioning, hi, I'm Mohammed, I'm a graduate student, I want to talk to you, all this stuff and all. So like later I realized after like some emails and messages, something might be wrong in my like message sending request. Like, so I changed the approach. As I mentioned, like luckily I got a reply from a vice president of a financial company. So I happened to like talk about like 30 minutes with her. Like we changed the whole scenario over there. Like even I didn't ask a referral from her. She was from herself. She like personally messaged me and she was like, let me know like whenever you're applying for the roles and like, and do check if the sponsorship is available and let me know, I can refer you for that. Like, and recently I happened like there was one senior program manager from Amazon, I guess, like he's working in Seattle office. So he posted one like a post regarding the layoffs, like people who have been laid off. I'm helping them like craft their resumes, like review their resumes, all those stuff and all. So in the final of the note, he mentioned that like anyone can contact him. And I was the first person to like the post and like comment on this post and like schedule the appointment with him, like as he had given me the calendar link. And like I was fortunate to have a 15 minutes call with him. So and like he didn't like waste a single minute of the time. Like he just mentioned like how you had to like connect with the people, and like he just like liked my approach when I said him like your network is your net worth. Like I mentioned him like whatever I do, like help people across and like share the knowledge, and like this party like whatever you are doing, if you're getting something, make sure that you are bringing some credibility to it, like posting up on LinkedIn and showing up the people like how you followed with some efforts and like how others can approach, because like that might work for me and that might not work from another, but they can learn from the same experience, like how to approach and connect for all those stuff and all. So and like in January, I have been lined up with like 3 of the calls, like all are like senior level positions, and like 2 of the people have agreed to review my resume and like talk about the data science, and like one person is keen to know more about my background, like how was my journey and like why I am here, like what is my future goals in next 5 years. I don't know, like it was I just like mail them like I'm working in data science. I saw your post relevant to that, like you're working in this particular technology. So like if I want to fit my interest into that particular technology, like how it can be helpful. So they were like happy to reply to me, and like all they have scheduled the appointment. Like I think Jan 1st, 2nd, 3rd week I have been lined up with all those 3 people, and I'm excited to talk about them. Like like when I meet with some people, connect with my friends, they'll be telling like we are not getting job opportunities, like we're applying to hundreds of application, all those stuff and all. So still many people don't know that like LinkedIn has like a lot of options, like where you have to, whenever you go to apply, know the what mistake people will do, like open the job section, They see the random applications, start applying. So I don't think so that will work for, that might work for like 1 people in out of 100. But like the thing what you have to do is they have like a lot of filters you have to check, like the past 24 hours, and like LinkedIn has opened up a new option, like up to like past 10 applicants, only 10 applicants in that particular application. If you go and click on that particular filter, you'll be able to find that all the like internships and job sections, like which will be having only less than 10 applicants, which actually makes you and your resume go to the, at least to the hiring manager, get reviewed, and like some chances might be there, 50-50 chances. So kind of this, like getting to know, like the thing is like what I have observed is like get connected with people. Before connecting with Bernie also, I was not knowing all this stuff and how to do all the stuff and all. So thanks for you and like your time, and you have scheduled your time, and like we have done a couple of meetings and done. So I'm doing this like in a business strategist work, and like I'm trying to connect with the people. I haven't got any like internships or a career phase like request kind of thing, but like I'm able to connect with people. So
Yes.
at least they recognize me whenever I email. Like one more thing I want to state, I had connected with a Google employee like past 6 months before. I just
Mhm.
like asked about him about the data science and like how did you get into the Google. So he shared his experience, like I learned this particular skill and all. And luckily I messaged him Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, like how's the life going on, all the stuff and all. So soon he came up with a reply saying that like you mentioned that you will be graduating in May 2023 in your profile, and like how
Wow.
is your job search. So
Wow.
I was very like keen to know that, okay, he remembers me. So then he was like, make sure that like in the early of the February, just let me know. I'll check positions in my team, and I'll be able to like let you know which positions are open and which will be relevant to you, so that I can refer you. So this is what happens like when it connects. At that time it might not work. At some time, like when people are connecting with you, getting to know it, like make sure that you're liking their post, visiting their profile, at least commenting your like thought of opinion, like if you like it, why did you like it? So what's your opinion on it, like how it can be changed, how it can be viewed from your perspective. So people in LinkedIn are like willing to know about your point of opinion, like what do you want to say. Like they have the, like you can see now ChatGPT is most famous now, like everyone will be bringing up with some new ideas, posting their opinions, and also like people are liking to know like, okay, ChatGPT can do this, all the stuff and all. So that's what like how I do my networking stuff. And also like wherever I worked in the summer internship with my previous company known as JM Family. Even like I messaged to a single recruiter, they recognize me. Oh, Mohammed, you have emailed us, like, oh, how are you? How are you doing? All the stuff and all. Like anything is available, we will let you know. Don't worry for that, all the stuff and all. So this is how I keep asking people. And like not only, as I mentioned in my earlier post, like don't go behind only for the person, like for the job seeking, like just go to the person and tell about yourself and share your knowledge, learn from their experience. It might go into a different way, then it will be like come on the right way, like go forward to your seeking this thing.
Awesome share, Mohammed. That's great. I want to open up the floor for questions or reactions. Please go ahead.
Yeah, that was very informative. Thank you so much for sharing the key points. And so you mentioned a very good thing, that I always text them about what I need instead of what I have to offer.
Yeah,
So
it's not about what to offer, but it would actually be better if you found out what they need first.
yes,
I'm giving you a nuance right now, Yash, okay? Because if you find out what they need, then you can go into your skill set to offer that. Because if you just offer what you think they have, you may be hitting the wrong mark.
right.
And that's the whole point of having conversations back and forth with these people, so that occurs. Because a lot of times we make assumptions and it could totally miss the mark. That's why take advantage of what you're learning. That's why we kind of like say it. I'm going to review the design principles again, right? There's 3 of them. Number 1, it's got to be short. It's short because it's got to be conversational, right? And then number 2, what? You're laying the foundation for an eventual conversation to happen. So when you say something, it's very specific because you're expecting a response and you're thinking about how to hook them, so to speak. If I were in their shoes, what would I say such that the other person, well, in an ideal situation, is compelled to respond? That's the best situation. So you
Okay.
really got to think about what you're saying. And then the last thing, we already said it from the get-go, don't request right from the onset. Keep that later. When you find out that there's rapport already and you're going back and forth, then you kind of like switch it and then kind of go for what it is that you're talking about. So great reaction, Yash. Other reactions? I haven't heard from Ashlesh. I want to hear from Ashlesh. Questions for Mohammed or comments?
Yes. Hi, Barney. So I had a
Hey.
question to Muhammad that I'm connecting with people and applying like the wrong method, like directly going to jobs and applying. So I understand what I need to do in LinkedIn. Regarding whom to connect in the company, that I want to understand. Like, do I connect with HRs directly first, or do I need to reach out to the people or the job positions who are people already working in that team?
So
All right,
based
Mohammed's
on
going to start an answer here. Neil, feel free to jump in as well. So go ahead, Mohammed.
So based on my experience and my such, what I would suggest is like most of the people don't know that LinkedIn works with keywords. So basically what you have to do, go to the search option. Like for example, you are finding some of the people in Meta. So make sure that you are typing like a data science recruiter, kind of like try with the many options in the search box. Once you like click on that, the many profiles will open up, like who are the people who are working in the Meta company and the data science manager, or kind of those things. And few of those profile will be mentioned hiring in their profile section. So hiring, like they'll be mentioned like interns hiring, full-time hiring, all those stuff and all. So that will give more relevant to you to like whom to connect and like who are the people who are hiring. And like a few of the recruiters will be mentioning their profile as university recruiting interns and like full-time graduate, all those stuff and all. So you can connect with people kind of like these profiles, and you just like in mail and like you can speak up with them. So it's all a matter of keywords. You have to just like change the keywords. Like for example, you're searching for like data analyst jobs, like try such as like data analyst manager in certain company, like kind of these keywords, like the keywords will show up some profiles and then you can like email them. That's what I mostly do.
Okay, I got it. I will try that.
Awesome. Good question, Ashlesh. And then like Mohammed kind of like alluded to it earlier, sometimes one size doesn't necessarily fit all. That's why we have this group. Feel free to send the group. I'm going to create a LinkedIn group so that we can kind of like just have a group chat on LinkedIn. And the reason I insist on LinkedIn, because this is practice ground for, you know, what we're using. It's really LinkedIn. So I want you to kind of like get in there some more. Anything to add to that, Neil?
No, I think what Mohammed said really makes a lot more sense. Targeting exactly who will be willing to hire, and I guess it's it's the initial process. It's the start of the process. Once you get started, then you will understand on your own, like who to ask for and who to connect with first and who to connect with after, and then who connecting with whom would make more sense or not otherwise. I guess it's just the get-go. Once you are in the rhythm, and then you'll find your own way, I guess.
Very good share about the rhythm there, Neil. So Ashlesh, we're kind of like saying, we're giving you a baseline, so to speak, of where to start. But as you go forward, and that's the beauty of this group, you're getting to practice this as you're in action. Think about building a plane while you're flying it. And then you have this whole group mentoring you with the information that you're trying to learn. So it's really the best situation. Thank you, Neil. Others?
I have one question. So as I've started to apply for internships, one thing I've seen that if I go on LinkedIn and go to the job section, so there's a certain number of internships or positions which I'm getting. It's like 25 to 30 applications which I get repeatedly, and I've applied to all of them. But how do I find more positions and openings?
So the thing you have to do is like once you go to the LinkedIn and like click on to it, apply position. So it will redirect it to the company website. So soon after applying to the company website, again, you have to come back to the LinkedIn, which say, did you apply for the position? So it says yes or no. If you click on the S, it will go into the applied position and it will not pop up you and repeat up the positions again. So what the algorithm will do, it will keep on showing the relevant like opportunities what you are seeking. For example, if you apply for one data analyst intern, it will show 10 to 15 data analyst intern on the besides left side. So if you apply for data science intern, it will show like similar way like it happens. Like, and if you didn't click that like did you apply yes or no option, then it keeps on like repeating like apply again, apply again. That's the kind of thing.
Okay, I'll
I
try
know
that.
it's frustrating, like every time you have to come and do it and all those stuff and all, but the better option is like make sure that you're opening continuously 10 to 15 tabs while applying. So then it will be easier to you to like come back and like click S and then it will go to the applied section.
Okay. Thank you. I'll do that.
You got that, Yash?
Yes, I got it.
All right. So along the lines of that same question, I like Mohammed's answer because it addresses it one way. I'm going to share another way that it could work out, but I realize we only have 3 more minutes for this call. So look out for it. This is a success case of why we're trying to teach you business relations, because Yash and Mohammed, where you're coming from, is kind of like turbocharging the process that we know. The process that we know is go to find where the jobs are listed and then apply to those jobs and then kind of create those relationships so that it's easier, right? It kind of like brings you forward, but you went through the same process. Here's another perspective for you guys. The reason we're bringing up business relations is you could approach without going in through the first process. In just speaking to people, you find out about other jobs that you may not have known of or seen, but because of the conversations and the connections that you're having, the job, quote unquote, magically appears. How would you like that?
Yeah, that's good actually. Yeah.
So the beauty of what you guys are learning with business relations is you go to the usual route. To Mohammed's point, it kind of like brings you to the forefront. But what you guys don't know yet is this whole new field that I just mentioned. Because of your relationships, because of your connections, because of your ability to communicate your value to like all sorts of different people, it pretty much expands what's going on for you guys right now. I know it's kind of like hard, and that's what we're trying to get people to have like success stories, but we will. I'm very confident about it because these aren't new tactics. These were tactics that entrepreneurs applied in the business world. So I know it works. And now students have it in their hands to move your, whether it be job search or anything else that you're up to, forward.
So yeah, like I would like to suggest one more thing, like what people do a biggest like mistake is like once they update their resume, like they feel like everything is done. And no, it's not like that. Like make sure like whatever information you have not included in the resume, your LinkedIn is the best part to do it. Like whichever you are not able to fill up in the single page resume, make sure that you're explaining it beautifully on the LinkedIn profile and like it is gathered with the keywords and everything and all. And like I would like to share one experience in the past weeks. Like there was one senior technical recruiter from Uber, so who has built a software known as a career flow. What does this software does is like it optimizes your LinkedIn profile and shares some certain percentage, like out of 100, what it is your profile is rating. So they had one session, like I was able to join that session. It was around like 7,000 to 8,000 people joined that session. And I was like luckily got reviewed my LinkedIn profile from the senior technical recruiter to who joined that top, and it was around like 96% out of 100% my LinkedIn profile, and she was pretty impressed with that. Like she said like, okay, you have mentioned this keyword, you have done all this stuff and all, so this is the way how the LinkedIn should be organized. So sometimes it happens like once the recruiter gets the resume, they'll open up your like LinkedIn profile. Let me see like who the person is, like what he's doing, all the stuff and all. So make sure you organize your LinkedIn neatly so that like whenever like someone unknowingly views your profile, it could like they should not go back and they should like just message you, okay, like you're doing all this stuff and all, like we have an opportunity for you, all kind of those things. That's it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So to Mohammed's point, LinkedIn is an extension of your resume. Cool, very cool share. This was an awesome session, and it accomplished exactly what I wanted us to get to kind of like all be on the same page. And it actually took it a step further in that I'm seeing that you guys, you know, just sharing the information. And this is truly about business practices that are being shared so that the whole team moves forward. Were there any other last words? I'm going to be very vague actually about finishing this, because in the LinkedIn group, I want to check in with that so that instead of just the weekly emails, we have something that's kind of like available to us 24/7. Because I know you guys are students. Sometimes you go late into the night, early into the morning. So people are kind of like working round the clock, so to speak. We're going to have this LinkedIn messaging so that you guys kind of like the way that you guys use your WhatsApp groups for like information. So I'm going to start one for LinkedIn. And part of what I'm going to do is additional information to continue what we just started in this call. So I'm really, really so proud of all, you know, the time that you're spending, the efforts that you're doing. If you have any questions, actually, here's my request to you. In that share that I'm going to put in the LinkedIn group, please share what your takeaways are from this, aside from your questions, obviously, because everybody that's part of this team will kind of be able to see and answer questions.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Sounds
so
good?
much. And
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, sure, sir.
All right, guys,
Sure,
Happy
sure.
New Year. We'll see you on the LinkedIn group.
Yeah, happy New Year.
Take care.
Have a
Yeah.
good day.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye bye.